Joined now by Cape Breton Eagles rookie forward Cam Squires. Cam, as we're 2/3 of the way through this road trip, what are your thoughts on the trip and really the season thus far for yourself and the team?
It's been good. The boys are kind of coming together and stringing a few wins together, so the group's really gelling after the break and team's rolling. We're looking to keep things going here in Rouyn and Val-d'Or.
What do you think's been the key to getting the wins when that was so tough to come by in the first half?
I think the team's just really adapting to the new coaching staff and the new changes. We're coming together as a group and we're playing as one. We're using our speed and our physical game to kind of wear some teams down, and we're catching some teams by surprise, but now we're starting to build that identity. We're kind of looking to become more a good team and keep things going here into the second half.
It's been fun to watch so far. You get drafted by the Eagles in the second round. Of course, the team your brother plays for, which we'll touch on momentarily, but what was your reaction when you found you were going to be an Eagle?
It was huge for me and my family. Just kind of having the draft at home and virtually, it was good. My grandparents and other family members could be there, but just kind of the moment I remember, it was big being drafted here, and Jake was pretty pumped up as well as the other family. It saved a few miles for travel with my parents and stuff, but it was a really special moment that I won't forget.
I like, too, you made the point to say there was some disappointment in the fact the draft wasn't in person, but you see the positive in that because everybody was together.
It was good. It was different for sure, and just for me, experiencing Jake's draft in person at the Videotron was a pretty cool experience, but it's good to see both sides of it, and there's pros and cons to both sides, but it was an experience I'll remember forever for sure.
Despite being 2 years apart, you actually did play with your brother Jacob before coming to Cape Breton. You were called up for the Atlantic Championship at the U13 level as an underage player. How much did that experience mean to you?
It was pretty special for that tournament in the Atlantics where they called up a few of us. It was good to be able to experience that 4 or 5 games with them and just kind of get a taste of that. But then really this year stepping into it full time, it's been really special, and we're just kind of enjoying the ride while it lasts and soaking up every minute of it.
Speaking of your brother, you're coming to Rouyn-Noranda tonight, a building he played in. You never got to see him play, or how surreal is it to be in the place you would have heard about so many times when he was here in his rookie year?
Yeah, exactly. He kind of told me all about it. I've watched numerous amounts of games on the TV a few years ago when he was playing in his rookie year, and it's a good old barn that has a great atmosphere and a few championships won in it as well. And close buddy of ours, Noah Dobson, kind of grew up there playing in it as well whenever he was with the Huskies. So it's a good barn and it's got some character, but I'm excited for him to be able to come back and compete in that rink.
Have you been on the ice with Noah? Has he taught you anything?
Yeah, a few times on the ice throughout the summers, but he's obviously the great player he is, and he's having a great season this year, but just kind of being able to pick his brain in the gyms and on the ice in the summers is pretty cool for me.
Your 15-year-old season, you go down to Bishop Kearney in the U.S. and then you end up finishing up at Mount Academy. Tell us about the decision to go to the United States and then why you came back home.
It was kind of a split decision there on whether I was going to go down or not, because COVID was right in the midst of it there, and so it was a tough decision for me and my family, but it was something I wanted to try to get the best of both worlds there, see the NCAA route a little bit and style of play in America. I think it worked out well, and it was a good decision. I got to see both routes, but eventually coming back to the Mount second half, it was good. There's great coaches, great teammates, and it's good to be able to live at home and kind of finish that second half leading up to the draft.
As we record this, the Eagles learned they had 2 players placed in COVID-19 protocol before tonight's game. Does that bring back flashbacks for you, having been part of a COVID outbreak with your Bishop's Kearney team in the U.S. last year?
It's kind of something that everything's really unsure at the time, and us being here and everything popping up here on a surprise, you just kind of got to get your head around the game and stick to the positives, but then really cancel out the distractions and focus on the task at hand. And it's a good challenge for players mentally to be able to block that out and then focus on playing hockey at the end of the day.
How much did that affect you guys last year? Because I said your team got hit by it.
It was tough for us just because it kind of caught us right before the Christmas breaks. We were kind of in between. So a few players got sent home, and then numbers of players had to do quarantines in a hotel, and that was tough on players. But we kind of got the majority of our first half there at BK in, and it was a good experience, but then the COVID obviously came back, and it was devastating to us as a team and a coaching staff there to kind of separate everyone from each other, but you just kind of got to look at the positives.
A player's first goal is always going to be memorable. Yours is one of the most memorable I've seen because it was your brother that set it up. It was a nice goal. Just walk us through that play. How special was that for everybody on the bench?
It was a pretty special moment, and I have a pretty clear picture of it in my mind. I kind of stepped up, and it was transitioned just in front of their bench inside the blue line. It was a loose puck, and I just seen some space there in the slots. I jumped up, and I called for it, and Jake kind of lunged for it and poked it to me, and I caught it just behind my skates, and then just had a quick moment to go backhand, forehand, and then I roofed it, and the rest was really a blur. It was pretty special. It wasn't necessarily a close game, but you never forget your first one. It just made it even more special to have it assisted by my brother.
You and your brother Jacob both live under Ryan McPherson, the education coordinator. Does Ryan give you a hard time about school? Does that help keep you on track?
Bub's a great guy, and he does his job so well. He helps the team out so much, but he's on me a little bit about school and getting the marks, but he really does a good job in keeping everyone on task and looking after them and putting the players first.
How many Mr. Puffs are you bringing back for him?
I've sent him a few pictures over the Quebec trip, but Bubs has been pretty excited about the Mr. Puffs. He's going to be pretty jealous if I don't get the chance to bring him back some.
Unfortunately, Ryan couldn't be on this trip. He usually would be, so we're kind of giving him a bit of a teasing here. If somebody hadn't seen Cam Squires play before, how would you describe yourself as a player?
Just a smart, skilled forward. I can create space for myself and find the open areas. I can be a playmaker and also a scorer at the same time, but really working on development my 200-foot game and just becoming an overall complete player as I start to physically grow more and mature as the time goes on.
We look forward to seeing that progress as we go on. Thanks for this, Cam. Best of luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
That's Eagles forward Cam Squires joining us at the intermission. You're listening to Uniglass Plus, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.